But I became a general manager when I was at TaylorMade. I was pretty young to be a GM, and I think there was probably some questions about whether or not Mike was ready to run a major piece of business. So I remember when I got there, I thought, first thing I'm going to do is build a stellar leadership team, right? That's the first thing you're going to do. And these guys are going to be just like me. They're going to be passionate and believers and focused on the consumer. And they're going to be right off the old, fall right off the tree. And I did. I built this team that, walked like me, talked like me, had a lot of the same experiences. And our business started to kind of go sideways. I really was taken aback. Like I thought, as soon as I get that stripe, like I'm going to be better at that job than the job I'm in. And so when it starts to feel like maybe I'm not as good at this job as I was in my last one, I really, you do some introspective. And I remember called a buddy of mine, a guy who hired me at Procter & Gamble is still a really good friend in life. And at the time, I probably talked to him every month. And he had retired and lived up in Michigan. So I called him and I said, Les, I need some help. My team and I are struggling. We're just not having the market share success we've been having before I became GM. He said, describe your team to me. So I did. And he said, describe your team meetings. And I said, my team meetings are phenomenal. Like everybody's on the same page. And if you know Les, he goes, you're an idiot. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, you don't need 7 Mikes in the room. You got that. You need 7 people that don't like Mike in the room. And they're going to bring the different points of view. And so I always tell people that DEI gets a bad rap because people think it's about quotas or certain kind of cultures or races, but really we ought to think about DEI is just is how do you take what you bring to the party and ramp it up by 5 or 6. So over the course of the next year, I really fundamentally changed my leadership team and quite frankly created a leadership team that borderline didn't like each other. There was a lot of friction in the room all the time, a lot of friction in my life because people would come into my office and I would say something. I'm think, I'm the boss. Like I've already said something. They look at me like, I don't care what your title is. We're not doing that. And that's when our business started taking off. And quite frankly, that's when I liked my job again, not just because of the in-market success, but I was learning every day again. And it's hard to manage people that are better at their job than you are at yours.